The World Anti-Doping Agency is endorsing a 4-year ban on Russia from the next 2 Olympic Games and other major events. Now, this is the latest punishment for its state-sponsored doping scandal. Let's go to London right now. Chris Brown covering the story for us today. So, Chris, good morning. Tell us what this all means.
Well, this is a ban on the country sparing the athletes, and that was the recommendation from WADA's executive committee. So in that sense, the decision is not that surprising. Here is part, though, of WADA's press release they put out this morning. For too long, Russian doping has detracted from clean sport, it reads. The blatant breach by Russian authorities of RUSADA's reinstatement conditions demand a robust response, and that is exactly what has been delivered today. This ban means that Russia cannot take part in the next 2 Olympic Games, one summer, one winter, and also possibly the next FIFA World Cup in Qatar, nor can Russia host any other international sporting events over the next 4 years. Russian athletes, however, can still compete if they test clean under a neutral flag, but not in Russian uniforms, just as they did in South Korea in 2018. This, of course, is focused on blood and urine samples that had been locked away for years at the Moscow doping lab. So there's no suggestion that athletes themselves here tampered with any of the results. Instead, suspicion has fallen on Russia's security services and its Ministry of Sport, which had control in that facility, that they did the tampering to continue to try to cover up the cheating that happened during the Sochi Games in 2014. Michael.
Okay, so a ban on Russia officially, not necessarily the athletes. What is the reaction to this decision then?
Well, a lot of athletes around the world had argued that this kind of partial ban was too light. Canadians Becky Scott, Hayley Wickenheiser were among those prominent athletes who signed a letter demanding a total ban, no Russians athletes at all under any conditions. That was also the position of the U.S. anti-doping agency. Its head told us that Russia was given a chance to come clean about cheating during Sochi, and then they went out and they cheated again.
They've refused to change their behavior, and they now have blurred who is clean and who is not clean, and they have thrown all of their athletes under the bus because clean athletes don't have any idea when they show up to compete whether or not they're competing against clean Russians or not clean Russians.
In Russia today, you're seeing lots of social media posts from different sporting federations calling this decision unfair. They say it's discriminatory, and it also harkens back to many of the talking points from the Russian government that we've heard over the years, really, that this is some kind of Western conspiracy against Russia. None of those sporting agencies ever address the issue of who specifically authorized or ordered the tampering in the drug lab. Just now, a member of Russia's State Duma has announced that Russia will challenge this ban at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, which it is allowed to do so. I am 100% sure we will go to court because we must defend our athletes. That's a statement from Deputy Svetlana Zurova. Michael.
Chris, thank you for that. Our Chris Brown in London.